Hello friends, in this video I will be, should I say it's a video? Not exactly a video. I'm going to create a new playlist because Ajax, Django and Postgres as a complete CRUD operation is something very special, and I have planned to create few videos where each one of these operations or functionalities I will put forward in front of you, and I'm very sure this entire playlist is going to help you a lot, because how asynchronous communication is taking place with the help of Django in context to Postgres is something you must know. So let's start with the application. So already my page is active right now and my server is already under operation. So we are seeing a nav bar over here, and this is my route localhost colon 8000. The nav bar has got few of the options over here. We'll explore all of these options in the coming days in form of different videos. Today what we are going to do is that we are going to start with the stream app. So let me explore you through my project. So over here, this is my project name called Mark Tracker. Yes, and this Mark Tracker has got few apps. How many apps do I have got? Well, let's go and see the settings. That will be much easy for you to understand. Let's scroll up. We have got 4 apps: stream app, subject app, register app and mark app. So these 4 apps I have got. Apart from that, we are making use of Postgres as database, and that's the reason I have got one environment file over here. I am unable to open this file because the credentials are all written over here. So you will adjust the credential accordingly, where you have to give the database name, the username, the password, the host is the local host, and the port number 5432. That is the default port number of Postgres. Okay, and over here I have gone for settings, and over here I have also gone for login. Well, right now login I'm not using. Primarily I'm focusing on the CRUD operation right now. So over here the settings, in the settings we have got for static, because static is quite important, and we have also got template. So if you see over here, I have created one template folder, and inside the template folder my base.html is there, which will make use of Ajax. Look over here, I have already downloaded the Ajax file. Sorry, not Ajax file. I have connected the CDN link over here, and here is my Ajax file, and which is present inside the static folder. So if you come over here, you will find inside the static there is a folder called JS, and inside the JS I have written the custom JavaScript Ajax, which I am going to make you people aware about. Okay, apart from that, I have gone for Bootstrap right over here, and I am using the Django template engine, that is Jinja. So I have added the nav bar. So let me explore the nav bar as well. So let's come to the include folder. Inside that nav bar is there, and this nav bar has got all the URLs in context to each of the app. Like this is the one which is stream, subject, add student and mark allotment. So we will explore, or I better to say I will explore you through all these different URLs in the upcoming videos, since we are using a static context. So for that reason your Jinja template should always start with the static prefix. Okay, so that's how the nav bar is. So the first URL to explore is stream_list. So it means I have to open my project url.py. Let me show you that. Here is the project urls.py, and today's focus is right at this particular path. Okay, by default you're already inside this. That's the reason you are able to see the page in front of us. So that is coming from this blank route. But now when the user will click on the stream, so when I will be clicking on the stream, the route that will come across is giving a call to the app called stream app. So stream app has got its own dedicated urls.py. That's what we are going to focus on, and as I said, in upcoming days we'll explore with the subject, with the mark, and these are going to be very important. Okay, so let's move on to the stream app.url. Let me close this file. Let me close settings also. Let me close all the files over here so that it's neat and clean. So let's move to stream app, and over here I have got urls.py. So let's open this one. So these are the 4 routes, or better to say the 4 CRUD operation. So this is my retrieve, As we saw over here, the R stands for retrieve, the retrieve data. C stands for create, so create is the add, and then you have got update. This is for update and this is for delete. So all the 4 operation, if you have understood, that means you are well versed with the CRUD operation in context to Django, making use of AJAX, and the database is Postgres. Remember, Postgres is a CRUD operation we are performing over here in the form of ORM, because Django inbuilt ORM is what we are going to make use of, and this is something what you need to understand thoroughly. So let's move on with the first route, because the moment I will tap on the nav bar over here, it will be localhost 8000/stream, as we saw in the project urls.py. Okay, let me open the project URL one more time to show you that. As you can see over here, so when I will tap on the stream, it should have a stream prefix along with localhost 8000. So let's do that one. So I click over here. The moment I click over here, look at the URL. Now it is showing localhost 8000/stream/, because that's how the project URL is saying stream/ is there, and that will take us to the app URL, and this is a route which we are actually visiting right now. So please focus on this particular route, because this will help us to understand the retrieve operation of the CRUD functionality. So as you can see over here, I have created one file called views.py. Not this one, view.py. So this file is present in the current working directory of this particular app. So this is my directory stream app, and the file name is view, so that would be the one. So inside the view I have written, let's open the view. Inside the view I have got 4 function based views, so these are all function based view. Okay, so in this particular video I am focusing primarily on function based view. In the upcoming days we'll also work on class based view, plus I also have a plan to come up with REST API, Django DRF. Okay, so we will cover up all those portions one after the other. So right now our focus of attention is the function based view, and specifically we are targeting this particular function stream list, and we have given an alias name so that when you use it in the URL tag of the Jinja template in navbar, you will call this stream_list. So let me take you one more time to the navbar. Here is the navbar, and see I have written URL stream_list. So this is the one which you can see right over here. Not this one, this is the project one. This is the one, stream_list. So remember, that's how your like when you're putting the URL in the navbar, you're basically referring to the alias part. So that's the functionality of the name attribute present in the path function, or the name parameter present in the path function. Okay, so let's go and see what is this particular function based view present inside the file called view is all about. So here are we right now. Okay, so far so good. So this will bring us right over here, and as you can see, as I press the CTRL or the key from the keyboard, it will bring right over here. Okay, so whenever we are working on function based view, it always has a parameter called HTTP request type, because that's how the server get to know that who is the client who is actually requesting, which particular IP address from the request is coming. So that will be taken care by the first parameter called request. Okay, it will tell me the source where from the request is actually generating, and this particular function is going to return. Well, function based view in context to Django will always have some or the other form of return. So here we are returning HTTP response. Now inside the HTTP response we also have got JSON response. Don't worry, I will explain them one after the other. Well, if you even don't write this return HTTP response, then also it will work, but for your understanding, so that you are mentally prepared for a wide range of questions that we put forward during the interview, so for that reason I mentioned that this is of type HTTP response, and HTTP response is coming from Django.http package. Okay, so Django over here is the top package. Inside that we have got a sub package called HTTP, and these are 3 different class. So HTTP request is a class, HTTP response is a class, and JSON response is a class. So if I take you to this particular file, you will find that the HTTP request is actually a class. Okay, and same goes for HTTP response also, that is also a class, and lastly JSON response also, that is also a class. So remember, these 3 are different classes. So every function based view should have a request as a parameter, and it should have a response also, HTTP response. So let me expand this function to tell you what is there right over here. So as you can see on the very first line, and I stated very clearly that we are going to work on CRUD operation in Django, and we know that Django comes up with object relational mapping ORM. So this is the statement that actually invoking ORM. So we are not going to give a call to the regular SQL queries like insert into table name or select star from table name or update table name, update name of the table, or drop. We are not going to work with them directly. Rather, we are going to use functions. So what is the line all about? Yes, this line is telling us that there is a model called stream. What did I define? Well, every app when you create in Django will always have a model file, isn't it? So let me take you to the model file of stream app. So every app comes with this particular file, and here I have created one model, one class. So I'm giving a call to the model from Django.db package, and the name of the class is called stream because we are working on the stream app, and it is inheriting it's inheriting every class or every model which you are creating. You do create, that is basically like a derived class from the base class called model. So if you open the model here also, you will find the class is there. So you can say that the stream is a derived class and the parent class is model. Okay, that's how you can say. So here I have declared one attribute, and this is of type char-fill. That means it's going to hold a text data over here, and these are the parameters. With the length is 100, that means the text field name should be within the limit, and it should be unique. Very good, it should be unique because I don't want that there should be duplicate stream name. Like every college will have a particular stream, you cannot repeat the same string again and again. Okay, so like suppose CS is a stream, IT is a stream, EC is a stream, triple E is a stream. So these are streams, so each stream should be there only one time. And here I have given one helping text I have mentioned. Well, this will be more applicable when we will explore admin panel that Django provide us. Then we will be able to figure out this one. For the time being, this attribute is of no use. And I have mentioned the string format, a magic function I have given call. That also will come in picture when we work on Django admin panel. So that's how the model has been built, and we know that every app comes with a migration folder, and we have to fire two commands: python manage.py make migrations. When you do that, a file by the name called 0001.initial gets created, which is actually the conversion of the model into a file which Django directly can understand when we'll go for migrate command. I mean python manage.py migrate command. Inside this initial file, we will find the class is getting created, and we all know that in Django, or for each model by default, there will be one attribute called ID, which is going to be automatically generated by Django, and the ID value will be also auto incremented. Okay, so this field will be generated by Django automatically when we perform the migration command. So this is the one which I created, this attribute, and this is the one that has been provided by Django itself. So that's how this table will be rendered, and I already have got my table database over here. And if I take you over here, let me close this and let me refresh this, and here we are, marked underscore tracker underscore db, and inside that I have got the table called stream. We all know that the table name or the model name is been prefixed by the app name. So stream app is the app name underscore the model name which I have given right over here, and the app name is called stream app. Okay, so if you get into this, you will find that there is a couple of attributes, but those attributes, they do not have any value right now. So ID was generated automatically by Django, and the name I have generated. So this particular model is done. Now let's talk about this one. So it is saying that the ORM has been called. So model name is called stream. Object is a manager in ORM. Actually, this manager helps to connect both Django and Postgres. So you can think it like this way, that object is playing a role of a bridge, or like an adapter that is bringing the model at one hand, and the model means Django model, and the database that is Postgres at the other hand. It is connecting them together. So that's how the object property is always been referred. And all is a function that will actually perform the operation like select star from table name semicolon. So it is going to retrieve all the tuples from the table, and that would be stored inside one reference. I have given the name as stream. Well, you are free to choose whatever name you feel like. Now the question is, this particular stream reference is of what type? It is of type query set, and this is coming from the module, that is package django.db.model.query. so this is the package that provides us this particular class called query string. So the stream is actually of type query set, and this query set is basically like a double dimension list or double dimension matrix where we have got individual attributes. So which are the attribute I'm talking about? These two are the attribute, and there will be multiple rows. So that's how it's a multi-dimensional list. Okay, so that's what I'm storing it over here. Now what I'm going to do is that the data that will be retrieved from from the table, that would be stored over here, and I want to pass it as a context dictionary to my template. So I'm creating one dictionary over here. I give the name as stream : stream. So this is the key and this is the value, and this whole dictionary I'm saving inside the context. And now I'm going to render my template, and this is of type HTTP response. So HTTP response will be of type template, or it can be of type JSON. We will see that. Right now you are sending the data in the form of a template. So I have a folder by the name called stream inside my template. So let me take you over there. So I have a folder called stream. Look over here, all these folders are been like their hierarchy maintained, okay, and a proper naming convention has been maintained so that there is no such complexity when some other developer is going to work on your project. So right now, as you can see over here, I have got only one template, and the way I want to implement is the entire CRUD operation will be all done in one single template. Yes, you rightly heard. When I will insert the data for that, when I will retrieve the data for that, when I will perform update for that, and when I will perform any delete of any tuple, even for that, there will be one single template. So how are we going to perform all these four operations in a single template? That is something what we are going to see in the upcoming videos. So I'm going to give a call to this particular folder called stream app. Inside that there is a file called add_stream.html where I'm passing this context dictionary, and that dictionary contains the key stream. So let me take you to this particular template right now, and don't get scared by this template content. I will explain them one by one, and you will be very comfortable in handling all these things together. Nothing to worry. So let me take you right now to this part of where the dictionary coming in picture. So this is the portion where the dictionary is coming in picture. Now you need to understand one thing, that this context is of type query set that has been forwarded to the Django template tag, inside which I have got a list of lists, right? So my template, Django template tag, that is Jinja must know how to perform interpolation. See over here, my list of lists has been stored. So Jinja need to know how to perform like list comprehension, you can say so. Okay, so here I'm running a for loop. That means this is a multi-dimensional list. In each iteration, it is going to pick up the data, and it is going to store inside the stream. So that means in the first iteration, it will pick up the first list. In the second iteration, it will be picking up the second list, third list, fourth list, and that's how the iteration will go on until all the list inside the outer list is consumed. Then only it will stop, right? But hey man, at this point of time I don't have any data, right? There's no data over here. So for that reason, when you try to do this operation, it will encounter that the stream is empty. So that means when this viewer is sending the data for the first time, at that point of time there will be no data in my model, in my table. So for that reason, this for loop is not going to work. Rather it will come to the question mark, like it's empty. Okay, so this for loop has been also having a prefix over here called empty. So this empty means your table is blank. So at that point of time, you get to see the data called no stream available. That is going to be flashed right over there. So if you come to my template, you can see this message, no stream available. Okay, that's how this message is coming, because no data has been added until now. And you can see this is wrapped within the bootstrap table, and over here I have gone for heading as stream name, edit and delete. These three you can see over here, stream name, edit and delete. Okay, I believe this interpolation part has been crystal clear. Well, I just talked about the empty, not about this thing. That will come in picture when we perform an insert operation. So that means inside the for iteration we can also use this particular attribute called empty to check whether the matrix or whether the list is actually containing data or not. Fine. Now so far so good, and that's the reason why you are saying this. Now let's add one data over here. Okay, so as I add all the data over here, now we have to go through the view very minutely. So what happens when I will add the data over here? So this is how my template my template is visible, right? So let me take you to my template once again. So if I scroll up over here, I have got one form, and inside the form, what we have got inside the form, we have got, well, let me show you. Right click, then come to the view page source, and you see yourself what is there inside the form. Look over here, the form has a method called post, and the form also has got one URL where exactly it should go. This URL is also there where exactly it should come. It should come to the route called /stream/add. So let me take you to this. Let me open the URL of the project. Let's come over here. Let's open URL of the project. Yes, again, see, stream/add is there. So that add you will get right over here. So this is the add what you are seeing, /add. Okay, this is the add what you are seeing, and that will give us to a new route, and that is called add stream. So it will take me right over here. We have already explored this part, so now we are inside the second function. So we know that whenever you are performing any insertion of data in the Django, there has to be one CSRF token, and that field should be hidden. So that's the reason over here we have got a CSRF token field. And there is one more attribute over here called stream ID, which I will explore in the next video, because there where I will perform the edit operation. So when you perform edit operation, at that point of time, this will play a very important role. And here is the label, and the label is visible right over here. The label has been shown, and here is the text box, and this text box has an ID called stream name, and there's a button called stream register btn. So by this particular button, I have to register my AJAX event call, and that is called click, right? So that's what you are seeing in the template. Remember, this template has also got hidden field, and that is holding the CSRF token, and there's one more hidden field that is holding the stream ID. Currently you don't have any stream ID because the table is completely blank, right? So now we will go to the AJAX, and we will see that there is an event called click event, which is giving a call to the stream name, right? So let me take you to the AJAX. So let me close this. Let's come to the script. Let's come to the JavaScript, and here is my AJAX. So I have got few AJAX functions over here. Right now we are focusing on stream_register_btn, because that's what we saw in the HTML page, that the name of the button is, as you can see, this is not the one. Let me close this. Yeah, the name of the button is btn_name. That's the button name, right? So by that name we have the function over here, btn_, oh sorry, not this one, this is a text box name. Here is my button name, btn stream_register_btn. that was the text box where I will give the input stream name, and this is the button name, stream_register_btn. So for that reason we have written this particular function over here. So now exactly how it will operate, well, let's come over here. As I will give the input over here, suppose I'm giving the input as computer science engineering, CSE. As I click on submit button, what will happen? Well, at first what it will do is that it will come to the jQuery, because I will be clicking on the button, and this is the button which has got a click event. So first thing it will do is that it will come right over here in the jQuery. So jQuery is going to perform some operation. We know that button means the page to be reloaded, but that's what we want to prevent. So event.prevent default will stop the reloading part. As I said, there was a hidden field called stream ID. We already saw over here there is a hidden field called stream ID. Initially that field has got no data, and there is also a hidden field for the token, CSR token, that will of course have a data. So I'm picking up those input, and the input which I will be giving in the stream name. So I have got one text box by the name called stream name. So all these three input, first input stream ID, there is no data for that for the time being. The stream name what I will give, that will be there, and the token, CSR token what got generated, that is there. If you want to go for console log, you can do this to check whether the input has been picked up successfully or not. Now comes the AJAX call. Now as I said, in this single template I want to perform the entire CRUD operation. So it is quite obvious AJAX need to understand that which particular route you are giving a call, whether it's a create operation or whether it's a update operation. So how it will determine. For that reason, the stream ID variable will be utilized as a decision maker. So in case if this particular variable will have a value, in that case this if condition will be true, then we will go for the edit route. But since you are inserting data at that point of time, stream ID is not there, it's a blank, so the leftover part will get executed. So it's like a ternary operator, conditional operator is happening. Okay, in case stream ID is having a value which is not there right now, because at this point of time I'm supposed to give the input for the first time, so quite obviously there will be no ID. So this if condition is not true, rather it comes to the else part, and that's where the initialization of a particular route is taking place, right? So when the user is clicking on the button after giving the data, so it means that it is going to give a call to this particular stream underscore app. So that will bring us to the URL, that is stream underscore add. So here the function will be called. So this particular function will be called. The function which we have just defined below that, there is a function called add stream, and the request will be forwarded over here. But this add stream will not be empty because I need to pass the data which the user has given. So for that reason the method type is post. We all know that because the user clicked on the button, and I don't want that whatever input I am sending, I don't want that input to be exposed in the URL bar of the browser. I want that the input should be hidden and which should go within the form. Okay, I repeat, I don't want to expose my input to the end world. So for that reason I have gone from method as post. In that case URL bar will remain neat and clean. It will just show the path and nothing else, no data, and the data will be the form of encrypted that will pass within the form tag. Okay, so I'm passing a object over here. ID is not there, name user is given, that is computer science engineering, and CSV token what got generated. So up to this, that means the first three attribute. After this the AJAX will go for an asynchronous communication. As we know that AJAX is asynchronous in nature, so that means it will execute a certain portion, after that it will go to the backend. So now it will traverse from here and it will come to the backend. So backend means it will come to the view, and the view which it will target, or before it comes to the view, it will target the URL where from it will come to know that which view it has to target. So the control will be right over here. Got it? So this portion is done. So we are over here, and I will explain all these pieces of code very minutely. So since the page is opening for the first time, at that point of time the method was get, so this template got render. But now user has already given the input and the user has clicked on the submit button, because after giving input I will click on the save button. So once the user click on the save button, at that point of time the request method is of type post. So the else part is not going to work. So request type is of the type post. The first thing it has to do is that it has to pick up the data, and already AJAX has forwarded the data over here in the form of stream name. So that will be picked up and it will store inside the variable in the form of a string variable. So that data is coming over here, right? Okay, that means computer science engineering CSC came over here. So with the help of request.post.get, it has collected data from the AJAX. From the AJAX it has collected data, and this attribute both should be same, right? So data is right over here. Now I want to perform one verification. I want to check that the data which I want to save in the database, that should be unique, because in my model I clearly mentioned that it should be unique, right? So I had to ensure that means no duplicate data should be stored. So for that reason I'm performing an if condition, and in the if condition I'm checking whether there is any data inside this variable or not. Yeah, of course data is there, because I have given the input right in the text box, and after that I've clicked the submit button. So for that reason data will be over here, that is no doubt. But still, for the sake of good practice, I'm checking whether the stream name has got any data or not. Yes, it has a data called CSC. In case by many mean the data was not there, in that case the else part will get executed. Okay, let's try out the else part as well. So this time when the user is getting a response from the server, this response in the form of a JSON response. So the return type over here is HTTP response, and inside the response we have also got the JSON response. So JSON response is a subclass of the HTTP response. HTTP response is the base class. Inside, so this is at the top level, this is at the bottom level. So JSON response you are sending. So over here I have mentioned the return type is HTTP response. Although you are sending JSON response, that will have no effect at all. So what JSON I'm sending a JSON in the form of key value pair, a message stating that the stream name cannot be empty, right? And I'm sending a status code as 400. 400 means this is not a successful operation. Yeah, operation is successful, but this is not database performing any successful operation. I want to show an alert message. I want to show a message to the end user. So for that reason, in the AJAX, rather inserting in the success key, it will go to the error key, because 400 is there. So 400 status code means it's an error. So the data that you are sending, this particular message, that is stream name cannot be empty, that will get stored inside this error. And then we are performing a typecasting, and after that we are picking up we are actually getting the data. Now inside my template there is an empty div tag. So if I come to the template over here, and if I scroll up over here, see at line number 27 there is an empty div tag called acknowledge. This is empty div tag because here where I want to display my message. So I identify my DOM element, and since we are using the ID over here, that's the reason hash symbol is there. The hash symbol denotes there is an ID by the name called acknowledge, and whatever input after typecasting I have got, and look over here there is a question mark. That means maybe by any chance if the backend is not able to send the response successfully, then it will be a null, right? So for that reason I've written or. In that case this particular string will be inserted right over here by any mean. Although if everything is going well, then this will be in the response will come over here directly, but still as a good practice you have to write this question mark. Maybe due to some network issue the server could not send the message, so in that case this will be optional, and then you have to go for with this one. If this is optional, then this will fill up over here. But since I'm sending the data, so right now this portion will be not in use, so that places and see over here I've written the message. Why message? Because the field name over here message. So had this been MSG, then this also would have been MSG. So that's what you have to match. Okay. So now that data will come inside this div tag. The data will be displayed. The color will be red, and there is a fed in effect I have given. The message will stay for 2 seconds, and then after that it will just get dissolved. Okay. So 2000 millisecond equals to 2 seconds. So it will start with a very fade in effect, and after that 2 seconds it will dissolve. So let's go and explore that one. So right now I don't. Suppose I'm not giving any input, rather than I'm clicking on the save button. As I do that, the message comes, and then gradually it will fade out. See, again I'm showing the message comes in a fade in effect, it stays for 2 seconds, and after that it goes out. So that's how the error part is working. So I believe the view you understood that in case if there is no data been given, so naturally this variable will be empty, and if the variable is empty it will come to the else part, and the JSON response has been forwarded and it goes to the errors because status S400 is given, so it comes to the error part of the AJAX. So this is very important whenever you're performing any database operation. The error handling is also very important, because not that every time user will give the input correctly. So what happens if it is an incorrect input? Okay, right now I'm just targeting the like it's if a blank or not. Well, you can make use of jQuery. I mean, you can make use of regular expression over here to target some other strong validation also. You can do it. And to get to the error portion, you have to forward the status as 400. Okay, so that's how the error will come in picture. Now let's consider success part. What if the user has given an input? So here in the template, user has given the input. So computer science engineering, and we know that the template has a text box, and the name of the text box is student name. So that will be used to pick up the data. Already this input has been stored inside this particular AJAX data part as well. So now let's explore the success part, and I will close the error part, and it's over here. So the first thing is that it went to the backend, and from the backend the data came to the post, and it picked up the data from the AJAX, and it is over here, and the data is already over here. This time it is not blank. Now I'm going to check that is the data which I have given is already there in the table or not. So suppose computer science engineering I have given, and I want to check whether the data is already there or not. Now how I'm checking? This will bring us to ORM once again. Okay, already we have worked with one ORM previously, that is all, for getting all the tuples from the table, and now we are working on a ORM that's perform a where condition. So object.filter is something like select star from table name where the name equals something. So that's where the filter operation function comes in picture. So the stream name what I have given, I'm checking well, what is this name? This name is an attribute that is there in the model. So let's go and see the model. The model has got the attribute called name. That's the reason over here the name attribute has been mentioned over here. So filter name, and the input which I have given is what I'm checking. So first it will check, and it will find out whether any data is present or not. So response will be in the form of boolean yes or no. So if it is yes, that means data will exist. Yes, I mean it will pick up the tuple, and then the tuple is being checked whether the tuple has whether this filter is able to retrieve any tuple or not. So exist will return me a boolean value true or false. So if there is a tuple, that means by the same name record will be there. In that case we are not performing any further operation in the if condition. Rather we will go to the else part, and we will say stream with this name already exists, and this is again an error. It will go to the error part, and this will happen if the stream name is already there. But in our case model is completely completely empty, so this is not going to happen. So let's insert the name first. So in that case, the name which I will be giving computer science engineering, it's not there, and if it is not, means it's true, it's not there. Then you perform another ORM operation, and that is called create. So we are in the playlist of Django AJAX CRUD operation using Postgres. So we saw how the create is working. So create over here in the form of an ORM. So inside the stream model, the object is an adapter which gives a call to the create method, and I'm going to store the name of the stream which I have given, that is called computer science. And after giving this name, after storing the name, what I want to do is that I want to fetch all the data back again and store inside this particular variable called stream. Again, this is of type query set. So this is also of type query set. Okay, remember this one, like the way we extracted over here the query set. So already we came across 3 ORM functionalities. One is object.all, getting all the data. Then we have got filter, collecting the specific data that meets the where condition, and we have a function called create to insert a new tuple in our table. Got it? And after insertion, I am picking up the data, all the tuple data along with the new insertion back. Why? Because I have to send the data to my front end so that the template will be able to render over here what data I have given plus whatever old data was there. So for that reason, I picked up all the data from the table, I stored inside this, and now here I'm performing a list comprehension. Well, you may say that in case of first, I did not perform any list comprehension. Why? The reason is we are sending the context to the template, and the template, Django template tag, knows how to perform iteration. So it knows when it receives a query string how to perform the iteration. So that's the reason why in this case there was no need of performing list comprehension. But in this case I have to perform the list comprehension. Why? Because the data is now not going to the template, rather it will be going to my AJAX. So data will come and get stored inside the success right over here. So for that reason we have to perform the list comprehension in this case, otherwise we'll come across some issue. So how we will perform list operation? We know how to perform list operation this way. It will start from the for. So stream is my multidimensional array or multidimensional list. It will pick up one list at a time, it will store over here, and then it will create one object. Inside that we have got stream.id will be passed to this particular id, and stream.name will pass this particular name. That's how the list comprehension will be done, and finally this stream underscore data is holding the list comprehension form of data. That means now it is purely in the form of an object, or better to say an array that contains multiple objects, and that's what I am forwarding it to in the form of JSON response, and that response will come inside the success part of the AJAX. Right over here the data will come. So now what I am doing is that I am initially cleaning off the DOM element. That means I already have a text box, I tell it to you. So that DOM element which is holding my input, that should be cleaned off. So for that reason I did the cleaning, I reset the form field. Although I have a ID, but the ID is not there, but still I'm just cleaning that as well. And the input, I want to just send a message to the front end that yes, data has been successfully stored. So for that reason I'm writing hardcode stream save successfully this message, and that will be populated in the empty div tag which is already there over here. In the div tag it will be populated, which I will show you as I click on the button. The message will be in green in color, it will come with an animation, stay for 2 seconds, and then it will be dissolved. Got it? But now I just don't want to insert the data. If you do up to this operation, the data insertion in the table is all done. But I am not happy with that only. I want to show the data back to the front end, that this data you have inserted plus all the data that is there in the table, that also I want to show. And for that reason what I have to do is that I created one table. As you can see over here, there is one table, and this table I have given one ID in the table body. I have given one ID called stream list. This is what I am targeting. So when I am writing this line over here, I am basically finding out the DOM element by the name called stream list, and the ID I am using, so that for that reason hash is there. So with the help of this I have been able to identify the DOM element, because there where the data is going to be rendered. Now that data, I'm initially whatever data it will be having, I will clean that data, because before I insert the data in the model, the previous data that is shown in the template, that means over here whatever data will be shown, that will be excluding the new data, right? but I want to show in this particular table all the data. That means n data plus 1 I want to show. So for that reason, the good practice would be remove the existing content of the template and then re-render the template, because already in my stream I have got the complete data. Okay, because the stream already I have got in the response, I have got stream which I have sent from here. See, in the response I have got stream, so that what I already have over here. So I want to re-render all the tuples, the previous tuple plus the new tuple I want to re-render, and for that reason I'm running this particular loop again for each over here. So this is my matrix, my multidimensional list. In each iteration it will pick up one row at a time. So for each I'm using JavaScript for each is coming over here. So previously when I did that was, if you see in my template, previously I was using the Jinja tag, and here I'm not using the Jinja tag, rather I'm using the AJAX, I mean JavaScript. Here I'm using the JavaScript. So from this multiple list it is picking up one tuple at a time, and remember in this particular tuple I have got name as well as ID, because that's how this thing was rendered, right? It has an ID, it has a name. So as you can see over here, I'm extracting the name and that will be shown as one of the cell of my table. In another cell I'm creating one hyperlink which will be redirecting to this particular route /stream/edit and then the ID attribute, because remember the ID was also there. So that what is going to be the content of my next video, where I will be showing how to perform update operation. This is the content of one more cell, and there's one more cell that actually holds the data for my delete, and this is also going to give a call to the form tag. Well, this I will discuss in my next video, that how exactly next video. First I will discuss about the edit and then I will go to the delete, and this entire thing will be re-render. This entire thing will be re-rendered again and again, so that all the data that is there in my model will be shown. So let's run the code. Before that, let me run the model one more time. There's no data over here. Let's come over here and let's add the new data. So I'm going for computer science engineering and I click the save button. As I do that, message appears and it stays, and then it gets dissolved for 2 seconds, and by now data already came over here. You can see it has an attribute called ID. I have tested few times, that's the reason the ID is 11. That means 1 to 10 was there, which I have deleted, so 11th ID got generated over here, and that is an auto increment. Remember, in my model I don't have, let me show the model for the last time once again. The model does not have ID that got generated automatically. So that's how the field got inserted. But at the same time, look over here, this is what I was talking about. The JSON response has forwarded with list comprehension. The JSON response is forwarded with the list comprehension to the success of the AJAX, and here in this AJAX, I will tell you, go through this video minutely. Please follow my explanation. Already the video is pretty long. If I would have said it very slowly, it would have been much longer, which I don't want to do. So that's the reason I'm maintaining a pretty fast pace, but make sure you go through this video thoroughly. So inside the response I have got this particular field called ID as well as for name, and that's what I'm re-rendering over here. Here I rendered the name attribute, plus it has got a couple of buttons right over here, and that's what you can see over here. So if I put my mouse pointer over here, look on the left side at the bottom corner, you will find a new route is getting created, and that's because of hyperlink is there, href is there, right? This hyperlink is there. Although the delete is also there, which we'll explore in the upcoming videos. So that's how the insertion took place. Let's go and insert one more record over here, suppose IT, and as I do that, the page has to be re-rendered. Because of that reason, the previously CSC was there, ID was not there, so for that reason I cleared the content. Here I cleared the content. First I have to identify my DOM. So if you come over here, let me close the model file. Here is my DOM element. See, the table body I have given the ID as table list. So whatever DOM name you will be writing, that's what you need to identify right over here, and then only it will be able to clear the existing content, because you have to re-render with the new content as well. So that's what's been done with the for each loop of JavaScript. So let me insert one more record over here, suppose mtech. I love the most. Click the save button and the mtech has been added successfully over here. Now I was saying that what if I would go for duplicate entry. Already we have seen this response, that if the input was not there, the stream name cannot be empty. So let me do it once again. As you can see, stream name cannot be empty. That is coming from this particular else condition, and that is going to the AJAX error handling part. So let me close the success part and let me open the error handling part once again. So now what I will do is that, suppose I am giving the same value or same string which I have given. So in that case it will accept the input. The input is not blank, then it will go for a search operation and it will find that there is already a record existing. So since record is already existing, so this if condition will not be true, it will come to the else part. Inside the else part it will say stream with this name already exists. That will also be proved. Let's go and do, let's check out ID again. Already this particular attribute is there, field is there, and see it's saying stream with this name already exists and no new inclusion took place. The message came right over here. From here this message was forwarded, stream with this name already exists, to the AJAX. That came to the success error part and it displayed within for 2 seconds it stood, and after that it got dissolved. And if you come to the model, there is only total 3 records that has been inserted. The IT has not been accepted. Let's try one more time, another duplicate entry I want to go for. Okay, I did not clear my, see this I did not do it. This clearance, if you come to the success part, here I cleared the DOM element. That's the reason you did not see it, you saw it empty. Let me show you one more time, then you will understand. See, this value is existing because in my error part I did not do this cleaning operation which I should have done, okay, which I didn't do. That's the reason it's not showing. But see, in case of success, this blank will be, it will be blank after I have inserted a new record. Suppose I am inserting a record called triple, and see after the insertion this is becoming blank. It is all because of this particular line. So if I copy this particular line from here and if I paste it over here as well, then that will be also blank. So let me put it over here, and here now it's going to be blank because after insertion it's going to be blank. Okay, let me clear the stream once again, and let's go for mtech right now. Mtech is already there, so the message will stay for a while and after that it should get clear off. See, oh, it didn't get clear. Okay, let me do like the cache clearance. Maybe because of that reason it didn't work. Let me check this time, and let me check this time. If you want, you can stop the server as well and you can restart the server to be 100% sure that everything is working fine. So now let's go and do the mtech, and let's click on this. Yeah, this system is already existing and it should be by some reason it is not working. Okay, just a second. Here it's the fine, it should work, but some way or other it didn't work out. Let me just see it. If I do it above, will it do or not? If I do it over here, and let's see whether it's working or not this time. Okay, now let me restart the application. I just want that data should get cleaned off. So mtech I'm giving, oh, mtech t will be in uppercase, and let's clean this time. The stream is there. It's still not working. It's still not working, and it should work actually, but some way or the other it's not working. Nonetheless, we'll see in later on if something can be done. Okay, nonetheless, you saw that how this particular thing is working, how this error message is actually been taken care of. Okay, and what more to say? Well, I could have cleaned that one even before also, like before I entered over here. No, if I cleaned it over here before, then this data, well, this data is over here, so can't I clean it? Well, I can clean it over there also instead of keeping it over here. Okay, one more thing. Fine, leave it. Let it be like this for the time being. Otherwise, the main flow will be removed. So we saw that how we perform the insert operation, and we saw that how this display is taking place. In my next video, I will be focusing more on the edit part, that how exactly the edit part has been working. So we already saw in this particular video the process of create and the process of retrieve. These two things we have seen, and how we saw the string interpolation is working over here. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. In my next video I will be focusing on the edit part. So stay tuned and take care. Bye bye.